right, so just for starters, I just want to ask you a question before we get into our topic tonight is, how many people in here got dreams and goals? Okay, everybody in here has dreams and goals. So my question is, before we tap into this, how many of you written it down? How many people written it down? How many people see it, review it daily? Come on, let me see the hands of who's. All right. So this what we're going to talk about tonight is, how bad do you want it, right? And we hear that a lot, like, how bad do you want what you want? And the thing about it is that we all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same 24 hours. And one of the things that I want you to realize as we get into this is that most of the time when we set goals and dreams, it's always about us living this next level life, right? Most of the time our goals is about acquiring stuff. It's about we want a bigger house, we want a bigger car, whatever the case may be. It's always, well, not always, many a times it's about acquiring stuff. And when I'm talking about how bad do you want it, because we all want something. We all want something. And the great thing, or the thing about this is that we are all human. We are all human. And so we are no different, or you are no different than Oprah, than E.T., Bezos, whatever the case. None of us are any different. We all have the same 24 hours. And when I ask the question of how bad do you want it, I don't want you just to look at it from the aspect of how bad do we want stuff. Because we all utilize our 24 hours differently, but we all get 24 hours. We all get 24 hours, and how we use that 24 hours, we use them all differently. So I want to come from a different perspective tonight. Because what I said in the beginning, that we are all human, that we are no different than each other. We all have the same 24 hours. So when we talk about how bad do you want it, when I look at this image, there's a lot of people to the left in this image who's trying to get to the top of the mountain. And that's us each day. When we wake up, we're pursuing something in these 24 hours. It may be your grades. It may be becoming a better father. It's something that we're pursuing in these 24 hours. And so before we can even get to the place that I want a bigger house, I want a bigger car, I want to back up for a minute to say, what are we doing with the 24 hours that we have? Not to gain stuff, to make us become better and to grow from the inside out. Because it doesn't do anything for us to get to the mountaintop, but we're still broken on the inside. Because we can't talk about the mountaintop until we begin to grow from the inside out. And that's what's most important, to grow. You'll be surprised. You know what? Matter of fact, I know you're not surprised of how many people get to a high level or get to a level and crash and burn when they get there. Because they didn't take time to grow from the inside out. We all get 24 hours, and that's why I'm asking the question, what are you doing with your 24 hours? 2 years ago, when I was in my office, one of the things that I do, one of my businesses, I work with fathers, right? I work with fathers. So I'm leaving my office and I'm going to serve a dad that's in the community. And I'm excited because I'm like, man, here's a new father that want to get in my program. I have funding coming in. I'm like, man, I can change lives. But on my way to meet this dad, I get a knock, not on my door, but on the inside. They say, Shon, bro, you broke. You trying to save a lot of people out there in the world, but you still broken on the inside. You want to change these men's lives. You want them to become the best dads. But Shon, how can you tell them how to be authentic, bro, and you're not authentic to yourself? And at this moment, the Spirit said to me, he said, go back into your office. So I knew what was coming because there was a dialogue leading up to this. There was a dialogue that I kept avoiding because I knew it was going to come, but I just didn't want to deal with it. Like, who want to deal with painful stuff? Like, why? Like, who does it? That's whack. Not today. I have too much to do. So he said, go back in your office. We need to have a talk. So when I go back in my office, I know what's going on, right? So the Spirit says, you know what? You still haven't watched your film. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. See, in 1995, when I was here at Michigan State playing ball, here on a scholarship, the last time that I played, I didn't watch my film. And here was 2018, almost 20 years. And I still didn't watch the film of my last game. Why? Because it was too painful. Because that's when I lost my position. That's when I knew I wasn't going pro. I just knew I was going pro. So when I lost my position, I'm like, man, I'm not watching the film. So what happened? It was time for film. You know, they bring all the team in. We go into a film room. They sit us down. The coach, he pull up his clicker. You know, pull up his clicker and want to show you all the mistakes you made. Want to show me what I didn't get to the spot. So what happened? I faked the injury. It's I need to go to the training room. Because I didn't want to hear what the coach had to say about me and the mistakes that I was making in the field. I said, you know, I don't want to deal with this right now, so I would rather lie than deal with the pain or the ridicule or him calling me to the carpet for me not taking care of my business. So I avoided for almost 20 years of watching my film. So the first point, if we're talking about how bad do you want it, the first thing that you have to do is that you have to watch your film. And many of us don't want to watch our film. I get it. I know it's painful. Because we want to get to the mountaintop that we see. We want to get there, but we can't get there without growing from the inside out. It's imperative that you go back and watch your film. You can't lead anybody. You can't raise a family successfully and you're still broken on the inside. Hurt people hurt people. How many people heard that before? Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. I didn't want to deal with my father neglecting me and telling me I was too small and and that I couldn't accomplish anything. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with me not making it to the pros and going back to Jersey because I was an All-American. And they're like, yo, you went to the league? And I got to make up an excuse why I didn't make it. Oh, it was the coach's fault. But I didn't want to watch my film. So my thing to you is like, when are you going to watch your film and take responsibility for your own actions? Like, you don't have the grades that you know that you're supposed to have. Like, I need you to watch your film. Are you in the film room? Like, why didn't that business work? Why didn't that marriage work? Why didn't that last relationship work? All right, who's been avoiding watching film? Let's just keep it 100. Who's been avoiding watching their own film? Why? I'm not asking you to share what your film is, right? Because that's yours. But why haven't you watched your own film up to this point? Personal embarrassment, huh? Why haven't you watched yours?
Painful to relive that experience.
Same as
but it's imperative, right? Because how can we build something that's going to last for a lifetime if we don't take time to watch our film? Like, real talk, we can want to be wealthy all day. We can want to save lives. Like, I travel around the country, but I can't be authentic and help other people if I'm not helping myself. So I had to look at why I was avoiding. Bruh, listen, people don't understand, like, decisions that you make when you was a kid that could sometime come back and bite you when you get older. Mine was a video game. A video game. When I was 10 years old, I remember playing a video game against my boy Remy. And I know I'm dating myself. We was playing Nintendo, Tecmo Bowl. Some of y'all never heard of it. It is what it is. It was fun. But me and Remy would play this all the time, and I would destroy him. But Remy was practicing, and I didn't even know that he was practicing. And Remy started to beat me. And I got to a place where I didn't want to lose anymore. So instead of me going back into the film room and seeing what I'm doing wrong, there was 2 buttons on the video game. One said power, and the other one said, come on with it. What did it say? Reset. And that's what I did. I hit the reset button. Bro, you didn't beat me. But what happened is I started making that a way of life, that every time something got difficult, I hit reset. So when I got to Michigan State, I'm balling, I'm an All-American, I get challenged, the coach called me out, it was too tough, what did I do? Reset. So I could still just act like nothing is, like it's not a problem and not do anything with it or about it. So when I get married and I have children, if I don't deal with that issue, what do you think is going to happen to my marriage? So my question, again, is how bad do you really want it? Do you want it bad enough that you're willing to sit in the room and watch your film and don't come out until you see where you can make the necessary adjustments, and not come out until you make the necessary adjustments, not just for you, but for those that you're assigned to? The first day I walked on this campus, I thought I was that dude, but the first day I walked into the classroom, I left without ever sitting in my seat. It was a psychology class. It was about 300 people in there. And I walked into the door like, man, first day of class, I saw all of those people and I was intimidated. Said, I'm not built for this. I wanted to quit the very first day, and my mother said, bro, you're not quitting. You quit, what are you going to do? Life, I don't have money to send you to another school. You're there for free. So I had to make a decision that day that I was not going to quit, so I stuck it out, but I didn't change my mindset. So I had to learn how to grow from the inside out to get to the place to where I can start dominating a space. Do anybody want to share what film do you need to watch? What does that mean to you when you say you're studying?
Like, I know, like, some of, like, school for me, thank God, it's not really, like, challenging or anything. It's like pass by the time. I feel like, some classes are probably 3 or 3 by the class, and it just be going in and out, be there some days when I'm trying. So I know that I can easily 4-point class just by actually applying myself.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Anybody else? What film you need to watch? I'm quite sure you're not the only one.
I think for me, like my thing is commercial real estate. So I want to really push myself into that. I do a lot of other things to try to like build up cash flow, capital to be able to do that. But yet I'm still not walking deals like I should be. I'm not actively going out and talking to brokers. You know, I'm not studying everything about markets that I need to know in order to evaluate the risk and assess everything in that particular piece of property.
Yo, I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's you becoming vulnerable because that's part of your business. And you like, yo, I'm not doing everything that I know I should and can. Not the thing just should, that you can do. So I appreciate that. It's important that we watch our film. Everybody in here need to go home and watch your film. Spend some time watching your film, and not just watch your film to kick your own back in, but to make the necessary adjustments. So if you're not spending time with your family the way that you're supposed to, right, make the adjustments. Like I'm trying to be all world in the world, but I was losing my marriage. Like I'm in the street, people are like, oh my God, you're doing this, you're doing that. But my wife was so unhappy. So I had to watch my film like, yo, Shon, what are you doing? How you going to talk about you, Mr. Involved Dad, that yeah, I was a phenomenal father, but I was a whack husband. How can I train my son up to be a phenomenal man and he doesn't see his father being a phenomenal husband?